Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Brothers and sisters, good morning. Today is day 14 of Twilight chat, and it's also day 14 of Ramadan. This is a chat that we just in which I try to reflect upon specific surahs or specific verses within the Quran, and the juzu would normally correlate with the day. So today is the 14th of Ramadan, and the juzu is going to be from which we're going to take few verses is going to be the 14th juzu as well. So inshallah, if you are not following this Twilight chat, it's a chat in which I take few verses and try to contemplate upon them, try to extract some concepts which would guide us through life, inshallah. So, as to begin with, the whole idea is to have a guidance through life. So to kind of contemplate upon specific verses which would serve as a guidance to us in this life. So, having said that, the verses that I've chosen today are verses number the last few verses of Surah Al-Hijr and also the last few verses of Surah Al-Nahl. So, the last few verses of Surah Al-Hijr, there is a verse in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَوَرَبِّكَ لَنَسْأَلَنَّهُمْ أجمعين عما كانوا يعملون فوربك لنسألنهم أجمعين عما كانوا يعملون فاصدع بما تؤمر وأعرض عن المشركين إنا كفيناك المستهزئين الذين يجعلون مع الله إلها آخر فسوف يعلمون ولقد نعلم أنه يضيق صدرك بما يقولون فسبح بحمد ربك وكن من الساجدين واعبد ربك حتى يأتيك اليقين. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, for Rabbik, by you Lord, we will ask them. We will ask them about the things that they have been doing in this life. So don't think that whatever we do in here is just going to be, random things that you're just going to do and you're not going to be held accountable for. You will definitely be held accountable for. If you do good things, you will be rewarded. If you don't do good things, then you would be punished accordingly. So, this is not the main point that I wanted to get to. The main point that I want to get to is just like, as long as there's accountability, if you are a person who is trying to change things in your society, then you shouldn't be concerned about what people are going to say or how people are going to perceive you or how people are going to take your message. First, just tell, call, invite, talk about whatever it is that you are being told to do. And those people who are not, following your way, or who might be trying to make your life harder as a result because you're trying to change the societal structure or you're trying to face injustices in your society, then just ignore them. That's the whole strategy that we should be following. And for those of you who are into activism, into social justice, into trying to create a just and equal society, it should be the one of the main things that you do. You ignore things, you ignore the criticism, regardless of how much it is, especially when it comes to the media. People struggle because of the media. People sometimes withdraw from public life because of the media, and that shouldn't be the case. The case should be, we should try to face the media. When I say face it, it's like ignore it. Sometimes you have to ignore it, sometimes you have to face it. If you have to, go on the media and just make your point clear, then that's fine. If you don't have to, then don't have to. Just ignore whatever has been said or told. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just telling us how the Prophet perceived it. وَلَقَدْ نَعْلَمُ أَنَّهُ يَضِيقُ صَدْرُكَ. The Prophet used to be, distressed by whatever they say. So, and Allah is asking him to not to be distressed. If that's the case with the Prophet, and most of the prophets are human beings, and they go through this phase of distress and sadness. But we have to understand, if that's the advice that's given to the prophets, then it is also the advice to us, because we're human beings. If you're trying to do good things in your society, then you are trying to follow the way of the prophets. And the prophets were nothing but revolutionaries who were trying to advance the cause of justice and the cause of truth. And if you are trying to advance the cause of justice and truth, then you are just following the ways of the prophets عليهم السلام جميعا. وَلَقَدْ نَعْلَمُ أَنَّهُ يَضِيقُ صَدْرُكَ بِمَا يَقُولُونَ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling him to be patient. فَاصْبِرْ لِحُكْمِ رَبِّكَ. Be patient. Be patient. That's the main thing. So if we are human beings who are trying to support others, if you're human beings who are trying to who have a message to deliver, if you think you are trying to preach the word of God, then you have to be patient. If you're not patient, don't expect change to come, because you are ordered to be patient. If you are if you think you are following the truth, if you're trying to spread the truth, then you have to be patient. And patient until the day that you're going to depart this life comes to you. That is a certain day. And worship your Lord until that day comes to you. So worship your Lord and be patient. Patience is a virtue. Patience is one of the most important things that you can have or you can learn. Because as when you go through life and you experience events and things come your way, then you learn how to be patient. Also, if you don't learn how to be patient, then it would be difficult for you to continue, because without patience, nothing can be achieved in this life. One final thing that I wanted to pick up on is the last few verses of Surah Al-Nahl. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, ادعو إلى سبيل ربك بالحكمة والموعظة الحسنة وجادلهم بالتي هي أحسن إن ربك هو أعلم بمن ضل عن سبيله وهو أعلم بالمهتدين وإن عاقبتم فعاقبوا بمثل ما عوقبتم به ولئن صبرتم لهو خير للصابرين واصبر وما صبرك إلا بالله ولا تحزن عليهم ولا تك في ضيق مما يمكرون إن الله مع الذين اتقوا والذين هم محسنون. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, invite upon the way, of the Lord with wisdom. With wisdom and wisdom is one of the one of the other qualities that someone needs to have in this life. What I'm trying to do is look into this from an activist perspective, from someone who is trying to change things, from someone who's trying to convince people with what they think and what they believe in. And if you're trying to convince people with your way, you're trying to, get your point across to other people, then you need to have wisdom. Wisdom is of paramount importance if you're trying to change things in your society. Obviously, those people who try to change things in a society are people who had gone beyond themselves, who had gone beyond what is apparent to everyone, who can visualize their community, their society in 50, 60, 100 years, because they are not satisfied with what they see, so they're trying to change things. And then when you argue, there's also another discipline that Allah SWT is teaching us. When you argue with them in the best of ways, as your Lord is the all-knowing, knows those who are guided and those who had gone astray. So when you argue in the best of ways, and then when you are when you have been punished and then you have the opportunity to punish the person who had punished you, punish them as without any injustice, as it has been as it has happened to you. So it shouldn't exceed that. And then he's saying, وَلَئِنْ صَبَرْتُمْ لَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لِلصَّابِرِينَ. And if you are patient, if someone is had punished you or wronged you, and then you had the opportunity to take revenge, then it shouldn't exceed that, the amount that it should be the same as what they did to you. But if you are patient, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying it is better to be patient. لَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لِلصَّابِرِينَ. And then he said, وَاصْبِرْ وَمَا صَبْرُكَ إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ, and be patient, and patience can only come from Allah. So we have to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us patient. And then he's giving advice, وَلَا تَحْزَنْ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا تَكُ فِي ضَيْقٍ مِّمَّا يَمْكُرُونَ. From what they try to do, the mockery, what they plan for you, please don't be saddened by that, and don't be distressed by that. As human beings, when we know that someone is plotting for us, we get distressed, we get scared, we get saddened, and this shouldn't be the case. Obviously, these are lessons for us as well as human beings. It is for the Prophet as well as the human beings. If you are someone who is who is a visionary, who's trying to change things, then you need to learn from the way of the Prophets, from the struggle of the Prophets, and from the advice that the Quran has given us. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he says, إِنَّ اللَّهَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ اتَّقَوْا وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ مُحْسِنُونَ. Allah is those who are afraid of Him, or who are people of virtue, and those who are good doers. So those who do good as well. So to conclude today's contemplation, inshallah, it is about, primarily this would be for people who are trying to advance causes in their communities and their societies, and throughout the world. Today, things are not limited to your community or society. You can go far and beyond your community and society. You can reach the world with this social media that we have, with the different means of communications that we have. We can go beyond our community. We can go beyond the smaller circles that we operate within. So amongst the virtues, we said patience is one of the things that we need to have. We're talking about people who are active and activists. Patience, not to be saddened, and also to be loud and clear with your message. If you're convinced with something, you have to be loud and clear when it is necessary and when it is possible. Also, those who mock you, who plot for you, you need to ignore them. You need to ignore the things that you say a'rid. So when you see, especially the media sometimes can attack you, can create problems for you. They might try to humiliate you and things like that. So all we have to do is just to ignore them, because they won't listen to you. And some people actually plan and plot for people. So we need to be aware of it, and also we need to ignore it, and we shouldn't be responding to it unless it's necessary. So patience, ignoring are some of the virtues, and then stay steadfast on the way until the last breath. So if you believe in trying to advance it, please stay focused and stay steadfast, regardless of the problems and the challenge that you're going to face your way, because that is, you believe that change things, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be with you. And this is an advice that's given to the Prophet, but to us as well. So I'm going to conclude here, and And before I conclude, I just wanted to so um so I'm gonna conclude here, but before I conclude, I just wanted to give you one story. Um, one story that might just for your information. There's a verse in this surah which says, "إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون." So this story, when actually what I want to relate here is we hear this verse every Friday, especially just before the second as a conclusion for the second khutbah. A lot of imams recite this verse, and there is a story behind, and it became very common in the Muslim world. They just recite this verse, but they don't know why this happened and if there is any story behind it. So there is a story behind this verse. When Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, one of the Khalifas, the sixth, not the sixth, even he came a bit later, the seventh, the eighth Khalifa actually, or the ninth Khalifa. So Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, when he was the Khalifa, before him, what happened is that there was a the Muslims were going through some problems and in terms of leadership. So and it was ordered by some of the Khalifas before him that they're gonna recite. You know, they were actually cursing Imam Ali, and then when Umar ibn Abdul Aziz came, he stopped that and he ordered people to the Imams in Khutbah al-Jum'ah to conclude their khutbah instead of cursing Imam Ali to use this verse إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. So this is just another side story that I wanted to tell you about this verse, and because it is common that every Friday people recite the Imams like conclude their khutbahs with it. That's just for your information. Having said that, let's just recap what we said and then we can conclude this podcast inshallah. So the first thing that we said is when you are someone who is trying to advance causes in your community, the things and the virtues that you need to have, and these virtues are amongst them is patience is one of the most important ones, and also ignoring people, ignoring those who don't listen to you. Also, we have to be clear with our message, clear and loud. Be clear and loud, ignore, and have patience. Three of the most important things. And also stay steadfast. The fourth one, stay steadfast on the way, regardless of the challenge that you face, and also regardless of the people who might not complete with you. So these are the four things that we talked about today, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair. If you are following this and you would like to add anything, please do comment. Otherwise, these are some of the things that I wanted to contemplate upon with you. And if you have any question that you would like to ask as well, you can ask. And otherwise, I'll speak to you with tomorrow, inshallah, with another episode and another contemplation from the 15th juzu, and tomorrow will be the 15th. Alhamdulillah, we have already, finished 13 days. Today is day 14. May Allah accept your prayers and your fasting, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.